Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at the top story that we are tracking for you. The political crisis in Nepal has now assumed Himalayan proportions, with the nation's Supreme Court overturning Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's decision to dissolve the House of Representatives. Nepal's top court has also directed the government to recommend calling a meeting of the House within 13 days. In a landmark judgment, which will have far-reaching ramifications in Nepal's politics, Nepal's Supreme Court held Prime Minister Oli's move to dissolve the House unconstitutional. The order has resulted in higher alert in Nepal. The security and protection in and around the top court has been ramped up to prevent any law and order situation. Nepal has also seen political turbulence ever since KP Sharma Oli dissolved the House on the 20th of December last year. Now, the abrupt move resulted in the ruling Communist Party splitting into two factions, with former Prime Minister Prachanda's group expelling Oli from the party. Oli-led CPN UML and Prachanda-led NCP, the Maoist Centre, merged in May of 2018 to form a unified Nepal Communist Party following the victory of their alliance in the 2017 general elections. Capital Kathmandu has been witnessing a wave of protests over the last 1 month, with demands for Oli to step down and restore the House of Representatives. The Supreme Court order to nullify the dissolution of the House is not the first such instance in Nepalese politics. In 1995, the Supreme Court rejected the dissolution by Prime Minister Manmohan Adhikari after a no-trust motion had been tabled, but the dissolution was done before the loss of majority was proved. However, 26 years later, the situation is different. A major constitutional crisis is looming, with several questions but no clear answers in sight. Question 1. Will Prime Minister Oli comply with the Supreme Court directive and convene the House within 13 days? Question 2. Will Prime Minister Oli face a no-confidence motion in the House of Representatives? Third question being, the NCP has 174 members in the 275-member Assembly. If rival factions split into different parties, will the main opposition party, the Nepali Congress, align with one faction to form the government? Now, 13 days is a long time in politics, and a lot of unexpected events may happen in the next few days, which could shape Nepal's politics for years to come. Our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhan Sibal, sent us this report.
In a major setback for Nepal, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, the Nepal Supreme Court has said that the House of Representatives should be reinstated. We know that the House was dissolved in the month of December, and since then the entire country, of course, was gearing up for elections that are expected to happen in next few months. But it does not look like now, given the fact that the Nepal Supreme Court has made a major verdict, a major judgment, a judgment, of course, that is positive news for Prachanda, who is the other fraction of the erstwhile Nepal Communist Party. Even though the Nepal Communist Party hasn't split on the papers, because the Election Commission of Nepal hasn't announced any kind of verdict on that. It is split for all practical purposes. KP Sharma Oli is working separately, Prachanda is working separately, and both sides, of course, are not even speaking to each other. Such is the bad blood between both the sides. We know that this entire development which has happened in Nepal is a news which will be noted here in New Delhi, and of course in Beijing as well. Beijing was very keen that the Nepal Communist Party does not split, and it had even sent a minister as well, a vice minister as well, after the House was dissolved in December. So largely, now, of course, for South Asia, this is another major political event in past 1 month. We know that Myanmar has already seen a coup, and now this development coming from Nepal. Clearly, for India, everything which is happening in the region is something that it will be keeping an eye on. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Siddhan Sibal for WION in New Delhi.